The next three are talking about inverse functions. An inverse function is when you switch the x and the y around. Notation for an inverse function, they'll say to the -1 power. So the inverse of g would be the set, and I'm just going to switch my ordered pairs around. So -2, -9, 7, -2, -4, 2, and 6, 4 would be my inverse function. So this first question is saying, in my inverse function, find my ordered pair that has an x value of -2. What is the corresponding y value? So this would be the point here that has an x value of -2. The corresponding y value is going to be -9. Now the second part of this, we have h of x equals 4x minus 3. It's written in functional notation. If I write it in regular form, I would write it as y equals 4x minus 3. To do the inverse of the function, I switch the x and the y around. So x is going to equal 4y minus 3, and then I go ahead and solve that for y. So x plus 3 equals 4y. I'm just going to make one big fraction, so x plus 3 over 4 is what my inverse function is. Now the last part of this wants us to put 1 into our inverse function, and then once I do that, put that into the regular function. So I'm going to put the 1 into my inverse function, and so 1 plus 3 is 4. I get 4 over 4, which happens to be 1. I'm then going to take that answer, put it into my regular function, so I'm going to do 4 times 1 minus 3. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 minus 3, hey, is 1. My answer there is 1. Now, since the regular function and the inverse function are opposites of each other, if this is 1, this also better end up being 1, or there's a mistake somewhere in there. The middle number might not be 1, but if this is 1, the final number should be 1 if everything's working out correctly. Let's see, number 8 then. So number 8, if I'm first of all going to do my inverse function, my new set of ordered pairs would be what?
-2, -4, 1 and -1, 6 and 1, -4 and 6.
So it's saying, in my inverse function, if I have an x value of 6, what's my corresponding y value? 1. There would be my point that has an x value of 6. Corresponding y value is 1. Then we want to find the inverse of our function. I'm going to write it as y equals, that's probably the car salesman guy. Oh, he's texted me. Okay, I can almost read my own writing. Y equals 2x plus 13. So if I'm going to do the inverse of my function, I'm going to switch my x and my y. So x equals 2y plus 13. If I'm going to solve that, I would do what? Subtract my 13 and divide by my 2, right? So x minus 13 over 2. Now this one, if I'm working it out correctly, I'm going to put the -5 into the h function first, right? I always go in the closest one first. So I'm going to put it up there. 2 times -5 plus 13 would give me -10 plus 13, which is 3. I'm then going to take that and put it into my inverse function. So 3 minus 13 over 2. 3 minus 13 is negative 10. Negative 10 over 2. Hey, guess what? Is negative 5. If I got anything other than negative 5, there's a mistake somewhere in my problem. So on number 9 here, doing the inverse of G would be what for my ordered pairs?
And a water mountain. Okay.
-2 and -4. 1 and -1. 6 and 1. -4 and 6.
And so, in my inverse function, if I have an x value of negative 2, what is my corresponding y value? Negative 4. The second part, we're going to do the inverse, so we're going to say y equals 9x minus 4 over 3. And in order to do the inverse, we're going to switch our x and our y, so we're going to have what?
I equals 9x minus 4. Or x equals
X equals
9y
9y minus 4 over 3, right? Switch your x and your y. Now, if I'm going to solve that for y, first thing I would do is times by 3, so 3x equals 9y minus 4. And then I would add 4, so 3x plus 4 equals 9y. And lastly, divide by our 9, right? So 3x plus 4 over 9 is my inverse function. So I'm going to start by putting 5 into my inverse function. 3 times 5 plus 4 over 9. If I do that, I'm going to get 19 over 9, right? You guys are taking a nap after lunch. 19 ninths. I'm then going to take that, put it into my h function. So 9 times 19 ninths minus 4 over 3. When I do 9 times 19 ninths, the 9's will cancel out. 19 minus 4 is 15, and 15 thirds, guess what? Gives me the 5 that you already knew it was going to be. But it's a good way to double check to make sure it comes out right.